Hey everyone, it's Josh. Um, wasn't going to make another video about the whole Haverkamp situation, but some things have come to my attention that are quite humorous to me, actually, and I wanted to address them. So, I've stated in other videos that I believe I'll have a hard time getting a fair hearing in Ames in Story County once I take Haverkamp to court. And the reason I said this is because Brent Haverkamp, as well as other higher ups at Haverkamp Properties, are from Cornerstone Church, and they are actually elders there. And I went into how Cornerstone has a lot of power in this town, and they have people like uh, they have their tentacles kind of everywhere in town, and they have cops and they have judges and this and that. For whatever reason, some people are taking this to mean that I believe that Cornerstone essentially owns this town, like they own the entire police department or something, and like they have all the judges in this town in their back pocket or something like that. I don't believe that. I didn't say anything even close to that. I'm not sure where people are coming up with that. And no, I would never even think something like that. Like, it's not true, and I don't believe that. I'm not sure how people got that from my videos. Here's what I do believe. Okay, like I said, Haverkamp Properties, most of the higher ups there are actually elders or other high-ranking people at Cornerstone Church. Cornerstone is a borderline mega church here in Ames, and they have a lot of members who are prominent businessmen around town. Okay, so especially on their elder team and their other high-ranking members and stuff like that. So my point is that because Haverkamp is connected to Cornerstone, and because Cornerstone has such wide-ranging connections around this town, like Cornerstone has people in every aspect of life in this town. They have business people. They have people in every aspect of life, really. They have connections in every aspect of life in this town, and that includes within the legal system. Now, that doesn't mean that I believe that Cornerstone has all the judges in town in their back pocket. Most judges in this town don't give a darn about Cornerstone and aren't influenced by them in any way, shape, or form. But there is a judge or two in town that is likely to be more sympathetic than not to Haverkamp when I take them to court, and therefore will have a bias going into the court case. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. Like, that's why I said that it's not going to be very easy for me to get a fair court hearing once I take Haverkamp to court, because by Brent Haverkamp and the other higher ups in Haverkamp being on the elder team at Cornerstone, and being that the elder team and other high-ranking Cornerstone members are all prominent businessmen and just prominent people in the community, Haverkamp has access to all the resources those connections bring. Okay? That's not conspiracy. That's just reality. And because of those connections, and because of the financial backing they have with all those connections and everything, they can do a lot of things behind the scenes to make sure they have a favorable outcome in this situation. So, no, I don't think Cornerstone and Haverkamp is some kind of crime syndicate who just has a stranglehold on this town or something like that. It's not like that. But the fact is, they are very well connected here. They don't own this town. The Democrats and liberals and leftist type people own this town. This is a college town. But they are a significant minority with a lot of power and influence here, and with a lot of money to back them up. And Haverkamp is part of that system. So and some of their connections are legal connections. So that's what I'm up against. Um, Now, if you think that Haverkamp isn't going to use those connections to their advantage, I mean, you're kind of crazy. Of course they are. Just like any other conglomerate of business people who get together for and team up for any reason, whether it's at the church, whether it's through some other club, whatever. In every town, there's like different conglomerates of business people and important people in a particular community that sort of band together for various reasons. And in Ames, Cornerstone is one such spot where they do this, and they sort of kind of combine their resources. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I was saying. I wasn't saying that Cornerstone owns this town, or like everybody is in Cornerstone has everybody in their back pockets or whatever. That's not the case, and I don't believe that's the case. But they do have a lot of connections in town, in the business community, in the legal community, everywhere. They're a significant minority here. Not only do they have connections, they have the money to persuade those connections to do things for them. So when you've got somebody from Cornerstone who's on an elder team that's full of prominent business leaders, and I'm suing that person's company, and they're going up against a nobody like me, I mean, they might as well own this town as compared to me, because I don't have money, I don't have resources, I don't have connections, at least not connections that have any influence around here. So that's what I was saying. That's why I was saying I can't get a free trial. It's not some conspiracy thing. It's more of a common sense thing. That's why I was saying I can't get a fair court case once I get Haverkamp into court, and I will probably have to appeal the decision because they have connections, they have money. That's the way it is. Do they own this town? Do I believe in some conspiracy where they own this town and own all the cops and judges and everything? No. That's ridiculous. I don't understand why people think that I said that. I did not. But they do have connections in every aspect of life in this town. They're in every sort of business or field in this town you can think of. Cornerstone's members are. And they also have a lot of money. So they can make things work in their favor a lot easier than I can when it comes to a civil lawsuit. Okay, so that's all I was saying. It's not some conspiracy thing. It's just the reality of the matter. So I hope I cleared that up. No, I am not some crazy person that believes Cornerstone owns this entire town. But I'm a realist, and there's, you know what I'm saying, going up against Haverkamp, whose owners are a major part of a church that is full of sort of prominent and wealthy people from around town, and to think that I'm not going up against that whole conglomerate in some sense and all those connections, I mean, that's just wishful thinking. It's, you know what I mean? That's just, it's not true. Of course you are. This is why businesses and business leaders get together in any town to shield themselves from stuff like this. So this is why they form alliances. Cornerstone, I mean, it's a church, it's part mega church, but it is very much like a business alliance too. And if you're from Ames or you have spent any times in Ames, what I'm saying is not shocking to you. If you know anything about Ames, you know that everything I've just said is absolutely true. Nobody around here would deny such a thing. Cornerstone doesn't own this town, but they do have their hands in almost every pot on the stove in this town, if that makes sense. So when they're going up against a guy like me who has no real connections, no money, they can do a lot of things that I can't to produce a favorable outcome for themselves and shield themselves as much as possible from the lawsuit that I'm trying to bring. So that's all I'm saying. It's not some conspiracy thing. It's just a matter of dealing with, the reality of the situation. Hope I cleared this up. and then I'm taking the rest of the weekend off from this situation.